So let's talk about this a little bit, though, Phil. Being that you, like you said, looking for those originators, giving them the tools, giving them the resources that they can go out and become better. Like you said, you don't want them to distract. You don't want to distract them. You want them to come into a system, have the tools right there at their discretion. And the SimpleNexus platform, SimpleNexus tools, is one of those platforms that you guys have seen be very beneficial to LOs.
Yeah. Well, to give you a little background, so I originated for 18 years with First Heritage before I was asked to stop originating and move into my current role. And basically, a lot of that role is looking ahead to the future for technology and improvements in processes and things like that. But the technology thing is always something I've been interested in. And the background on SimpleNexus is kind of an interesting story. So, we work hard, but we like to play hard too, and some of the guys in the company were on a fishing trip actually down to Texas. And one of the guys that was with us was working for another company at the time. And we came in off of the water, and he had an email from a realtor that needed an approval letter for a client that he had been working with. And he was like, "Oh man, I don't want to have to go back and fire up my computer." And he goes, I think we have this app. I've never used it, but I think I can write an approval letter. So he started digging into it and realized, oh my gosh, I can. And so he sent this approval letter, and we're all like, what is that? And it was a white labeled app that his company had given him, but they'd never really done any training on it. And so we started trying to find out, who is this company? Where's this come from? And we finally found SimpleNexus, and I called him up, started talking to Michael Chan, and it was just, we're like, man, I'm so glad we found you. And we dove in, head first. And that's been my baby since the beginning. I've spent a ton of time originally just developing our app. We call it Loan Now by First Heritage Mortgage. And, the awesome thing about the app is that it just gives the originator that connection wherever they are. One of the reasons I didn't get into the industry sooner is because I didn't want to have a pager on my hip. I just felt like that was going to be too intrusive, right? But I did, and I had a pager for years. But now, with advent of when I had that, I had a car-mounted phone, so that's
wow.
So now you carry your office in your pocket, right? And that's just another addition to that capability. And SimpleNexus has gone so far beyond where they originally were in their plans for the future. The roadmap for the future looks very bright. I'm excited about the additional things that they want to do. I'll be honest with you, I keep pushing them to give them more ideas because I just think it's the way to go, right? And we looked at other platforms and just nothing really compared to what they offer. And so, we got busy and got it rolled out, and the response with the loan officers has been phenomenal.
That's awesome. And that's just it, is those simple stories. We talked about this a little bit. It's helping originators find those unique ways to differentiate themselves, to separate themselves, and ultimately be able to benefit the consumer. That's what we're all in this for. We want to help our consumer. We want them to that homeowner journey, because it is a journey, start to finish. And there can be a lot of confusion. There can be a lot of questions. The app by SimpleNexus can allow originators to answer those questions, to be present, even if they're out and about doing things. And that's what the Where is Your Office campaign is all about. Is you can this story that you shared, you guys were out and about, and it was right there at your discretion, right there at your fingertips.
Yeah, I have another one.
Let's hear it.
So shortly after we rolled it out, I would say within the first week or so, on a Monday, I got a call from one of my loan officers, and he said, Phil, I just got to tell you this story. This was awesome. This new app is phenomenal. He goes, I took my kid to a pumpkin patch. And while we're there, my phone rings, and it's one of my agents that had a new client. They wanted to write on a house that just came on the market, and she needed help really quickly. So he said, I got on the phone with the client. I pulled their credit. I reviewed their credit, and it was such a good loan. I was able to write the approval letter and send it back to the agent while I was sitting on a hay bale at the pumpkin patch.
No way.
I mean, you can't beat that, because I've got stories where, I've had to run back to a hotel room and fire up the computer and try to get on the hotel Wi-Fi and get on the phone with the customer and do all that work. And now it's right there, and it's only going to get better. And then the other, quite honestly, one of the other big factors for us going with SimpleNexus was the ability for clients to sign their loan docs on their phone. I mean, that just,
it's huge.
And I know it's different in different parts of the country, but I'm located in the Washington metropolitan area, and in our area, it's rare that we see people face to face. Everyone's so daggone busy, and so everything is done electronically and specifically on their cell phones. And back in the day, that just wasn't possible, and it's just made life so much simpler.
That's so cool. And it's stories like that again, you and I have both, being an originator myself, owning a mortgage company. I've had my originators while they're about like, can you help me with this pre-approval? Can you help me? Because again, it's all about relationships. If a client calls us up, and again, we're not saying, ladies and gentlemen, that you have to be on the clock 24/7, but there's definitely times where you should spend with your family, be there, be present with your family. But this just gives you at your discretion. I love that you said this. You said this a second ago, Phil. We have the office in our pocket, and SimpleNexus gives us that opportunity. It doesn't take hours to send an approval letter either. You can do it within minutes. This guy had the pumpkin patch. He was able to sit down. I'm sure he took 5 or 10 minutes, but again, he's providing for his family at that moment too. Now, not only is he spending time with them, but now he just got another deal. And if there's a real estate agent involved or something like that, that's helping you build that relationship. Imagine, like, that's what SimpleNexus and this tool allows you to do.